Okay, so Keith from Sky Sports, are you there, Keith? Are you ready to go?
Hi guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Hiya. Adam, can I start with you, please, and just a question on making your debut. Obviously, a big moment for you being included in the squad, but getting your start so early, your first start so early. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, obviously, first off, it's a massive honour to be called into the squad. Gutted for Alan Wynne and Tips. They're obviously two massive members of the squad, and they'll be missed thoroughly. But yeah, it's just a dream come true for myself. It's things you obviously dream of as a rugby player growing up. That you'd obviously love to represent the British and Irish Lions, and I'm lucky enough to be called into the squad late and get my opportunity so early on.
How have you found the experience so far, Adam, in the last week?
Yeah, to be honest, the first couple of days was a bit crazy to get a phone call late on Saturday night and then meet up with the squad the day after was a bit mad. But no, the players, the staff, everyone have been very welcoming, and I've had loads of help to get me up to speed with all the plays and stuff like lineouts and stuff like that. So it's been really good.
Elliot, can I ask you how he's settling in?
Yeah, he's settling well. I think what's good about this squad is that everyone's here to get better. So, if anybody needs any extra help or getting up to speed with stuff, obviously we haven't got that long together, so it's all about getting the boys in, enjoying themselves. That's how we play our best rugby.
Yeah, I was going to say, we were just speaking to Warren actually just a moment ago, and he was talking about how quick a turnaround it's been, and do you have much time to even work on things between games at the moment?
Yeah, we do, to be fair. Obviously, we've got 2 teams going into a week, really, so obviously some people are backing up performances from Saturday, this Wednesday, but there's another team in the background sort of looking forward to the next game and the next Saturday. So it's been good. It's been testing, which has been great. But yeah, it's the quality of players we've got here is brilliant. So tell us to do 1 or 2 things different in a game, we'll do it and bring it into the next week.
A lot Elliot has said about the different positions you play for the Lions and for England. How do you feel about the positional change for this match on Wednesday for you?
Yeah, I love it. I love playing 13, getting my hands on the ball, being able to defend a little bit more, make a difference there. So just looking to go out there and try and put my best foot forward, and whatever the team needs on Wednesday, I'll do.
Do you have a preferred position? I'm sure you've probably been asked that question about 1 million times before.
Yeah, I reckon I've been asked it probably 1,000 times at least. But yeah, anywhere really. For me, I want to be in the game as much as possible. So for me, 13 is where you get that. But anywhere, I'm here to play and be part of this team wherever I can. So I'll do whatever Warren needs me to do.
And just finally from me, Elliot, can I ask you, and obviously you've got your hands full with the rugby at the moment, will you get a chance to watch the football on Wednesday as well?
I hope so. I don't know what time kickoff is actually, but yeah, we all sat down and watched the sort of second half after the game on the weekend. I think everyone was supporting England, to be fair, which is good. Some of the Scottish lads sort of sitting on the fence, Finn Russell sitting on the fence, but I think we've convinced Hoggy to be an Englishman for a bit. So no, it's all going well. Hopefully we'll get another win and then we'll have a first final in a while.
Thanks very much. Cheers, guys.
Elliot, first run out for you and the team on Saturday. How was it at altitude? I know you've done a lot of preparation leading into the tour, but actually being able to actually get out on the pitch, how did it feel? Yeah, it was good. It was testing. I think it's difficult coming off the bench because always when you come off the bench, it's always 100 mile an hour anyway. So I don't know whether the altitude really was a factor in my sort of 20 minutes, but you could tell from the lads that it does drain you. So it's about having to adapt to those situations. But we've been brilliant here. We've been training on the watt bikes in altitude. We've been sort of topping up ourselves just to make sure we're all right when we come to games. And I think we showed that in the way we scored a lot of our points in that second half, how we're adapting to it. We saw on social media, thanks to the Lions Twitter account, a kicking drill. Mako Vunipola obviously didn't get anywhere near landing his kick, but yours sailed through. How have you noticed that these match balls, are they flying particularly further maybe than other ones? I mean, how are they comparing? I mean, yeah, the altitude makes a difference, definitely. I think you're able to take it sort of back 5-10 meters pretty easily, and then yeah, it's just a different way. It's not just affecting kicking; it's affecting
catching as well for the wingers and the fullbacks. The ball's travelling a little bit differently, so it's good that we're training at altitude day-to-day basis just to get used to that. So when we get into games, it's not a shock.
Thank you.
Hi, can I get a question for Adam, please? Congratulations, Adam. Katie from Wales Online here. Can I just ask you to go back to the autumn then, being left out of the Wales squad. At that point, would you ever have thought you'd be here? And were you even thinking about the Lions at that point?
No, absolutely not. It was obviously a huge disappointment to be left out of that squad firstly, but look, I had some good coaches back in my club rugby just to get me back on track and just say, look, focus on your own game, and if you play well enough for club rugby, then you're in selection for international window. And like PVAC and those coaches as well, they gave me a couple of work-ons to go back and work on the club, and then I was lucky enough to be picked in the Six Nations, and that was a pretty successful campaign for myself.
And how does it feel being called up as Alan Wynne-Jones's replacement then? Have you had any advice or contact with him since you've been called up?
So obviously I texted him as soon as the game finished, just to say obviously disappointed for him, because Al's helped me a lot through the club and stuff and through country, so it was disappointed to see him go so early into the tour, like you say. And when we travelled out, I actually saw him the day we got to Edinburgh, and I just said, oh look, obviously disappointed for you, and he just said, look, you just got to take this opportunity and just obviously lead from the front and do everything you can and just do what you normally do. So yeah, he's been huge to me, and he's given me a lot of advice.
Great, thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, question for Elliot, please. It's Chris for Elliot. I'm just wondering about how you think things have progressed for you personally since you spoke about having a difficult start in the Six Nations, and then you seem to sort of really got up to speed and confidence again, going back to the club, and even though you were playing in the Championship, how much did that all play a part in building you up to feeling in top gear again?
Yeah, I think it all sort of coincides to your form. I think obviously I didn't perform as well as I wanted to at the start of Six Nations. Towards the end, I thought I was back to where I wanted to be. Obviously, we didn't get the results, but I think as a team and personally, I think my form was getting there. But yeah, going back to club was brilliant. I think the buy-in from all of the squad, all of the Saracens team, really, to get us back to where we wanted to be in the Prem was brilliant. And I think nothing really changed from if we were in the Premiership to the Championship. We trained exactly the same, put ourselves under pressure, and the squad we had really allowed me to sort of progress when I went back to club rather than sort of plateau, which you could have done. So no, I was really, really happy with the end of the season.
And just finally from me, obviously all of you playing now will be going for test places if you can. What did it mean to you to be part of it in that whole series last time, and what are the main things you remember from that New Zealand series?
Oh, it was just amazing. I think the whole experience for me, I think last time I only played sort of 10, 12 games for England and came in and just wanted to train as well as possible, play as well as possible. And I was lucky enough to play in all 3 test matches, which was brilliant. Probably one of the highlights of my career to date. And I want to kind of replicate that again. But obviously that's in the distance at the moment. We need to get as a team where we want to be, attack-wise, defence-wise. So when we go into these games, whoever plays, we're ready for whatever South is going to bring.
Hi Elliot, Katie here, hope you're well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Can I just ask a little bit then, was there much of a chance for the squad to celebrate after the win on Saturday? And were there a few beers that they even allowed in South Africa at the moment under the rules? And more generally then, the entertainments committee, how are they doing, and how are they keeping you occupied?
Well, I'm part of the entertainments committee, so we're going really, really well. All the lads are loving us. No, to be fair, it's difficult. Obviously, with games on Wednesday, obviously we had new caps and we want to celebrate together. But I think we're going to have to wait for a little bit further on to fully celebrate. But it's good to. I think that the lads that got new caps, I think the whole day for them was brilliant. We tried to make it a big one for them, and I think they, by the end of the day, were mentally and physically drained, but I think loved it. And I think it's brilliant to try and get those boys in and get them same with Adam here, to get his cap really early on the tour so we can settle in, and then we can really build from there. I think it's difficult, obviously, with being in Joburg at the moment. We're all in lockdown where we can't really go outside of the hotel bubble itself. So the football's really helped in that regard to try and get people sort of mingling off the pitch. But to be fair, it's been good. It's been pretty full on since we've been here. We've had a lot of training days. Played a bit of golf yesterday, but yeah, at the end of the day, we're here to win the Test series. So obviously, everything that goes on off the pitch is brilliant to bring us together. But the more training we can do together to really combine those sort of combinations and get us into the best stead going to the Test series.
Great, thank you. Cheers.
You?
Hi Elliot, it's Hugh here. Hello, how are you?
Good, thanks, you.
On the length of your kicking, you mentioned earlier on, you can take it 5 or 10 metres further back. I know you did a challenge recently with World Rugby. I think you got up to about 65 metres at the sea level of St Albans. So what do you reckon your maximum length will be of kicking in altitude?
Don't know yet. Obviously, we get sort of practicing. I think me and Hoggy are pushing pretty close for each other at the moment. But yeah, it's different. It does fly a lot further. You think you're a lot further out, but the ball just seems to keep going. So it's kind of making sure when you're that far back that you don't really try and whack it, if that makes sense. Just try and back the distance that you've got, and then just get the strike right. If you get the strike right, it goes straight. Then it's got a chance of going over. But I think trying not to change anything. Obviously, yeah, we're looking around the 60 mark, but we'll see going into Test matches.
Do you feel that's a weapon in your armoury in terms of Test selection? Do you think that's an extra thing that's going to push you forward for when it comes around to the Tests?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I think what I'm thinking about at the moment is my performances in games. I think obviously in training, I just want to put my best foot forward and see where that takes me really. And whatever happens after that happens. But I'll just try and do as much as I can in and around training and games when I get the opportunity to try and put my foot forward that way.
Fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers, guys.